ये तुम्हारा बैनर भी अगर डालना ही डाल सकते
बैनर
हैं जरा कंपोनेंट्स के नीचे
ओह पार्ट 5 है नहीं
आई डोंट रिमेम्बर
क्या माफ कर क्या करेंगे पार्ट 5
ठीक है डन नीचे आ गया ना चल सही ठीक है अपन और भी सकते हैं One of the major events which took place was that, and it was well known amongst the Yahudi amongst the Jews, that that they knew that there was a prophet coming, Prophet coming, and it was just out of the blue that there was actually a Jewish person who was within the city of Medina at the time of the birth of Rasulullah, and he inquired from the Quraysh regarding a certain child's birth. But the Quraysh, of course, they ignored this question and they didn't give too much importance or heed to it. After which after he had insisted and he had pushed a little bit harder, and he said the prophet of this Ummah will be born tonight. You have to go find out who this boy is. Then they finally paid him and they finally, listened to his request and they further investigated and they found out that Aminah had a boy. Aminah had a boy. Then the Jews persuaded them that he requested them to take him to see this boy. Upon seeing this boy, upon seeing the seal of prophethood between the shoulders of Rasulullah, the Jew had fainted. And after awakening or regaining consciousness, he started praying, or he started saying that prophethood has been lifted from Bani Israel. Prophethood has been lifted from Bani Israel. And of course, as we talked about last week, the Yahud were a very different type of people. They were very stubborn ones, we would say. And due to this, they tried to instill this, or kind of insert some kind of mindset within the Arabs that this boy will be the reason for your collapse. But however, we discussed that this is the complete opposite. The complete opposite of the Rasulullah marched into Makkah as the concept of Makkah. What happened? They did not turn towards anyone and say that you did this to me. What will happen? No. I am the place power now. Rather, Rasulullah he said, he said, I'm going to say the exact same thing that was said to you, that when Yusuf alayhi salam was asked that his brothers, I'm going to set you free because he said that. Then another very extraordinary event that took place was the collapse of the palace of Khosrow. And he was an emperor who had a huge empire, a huge palace, and one night there was a massive earthquake, or a massive tremor that caused a lot of the buildings to collapse within his palace. So already he was agonized, he was very troubled with this event taking place in his palace. This is something which is outside the control of his hand. But to add on to his agony, one of the Zoroastrian priests saw a dream that there was a camel who was carried or driving around horses, and those horses were spreading far and wide. Those horses were spreading far and wide. So when inquiring what the interpretation of this dream is, he said, he was told that this means that there will be a boy born on Sarah. There will be an extraordinary event taking place on Sarah. So long story short, we sent an ambassador to go and find out from Roman to do this, Roman to do this, sent one of the prominent scholars at the time by the name of Abdul Masih. Abdul Masih, he came to the emperor, and the emperor told him that, you have to find out what's going on to me. So Abdul Masih said that my uncle may be aware of, what's going on. So he went to his uncle, but at the time, his uncle was on his deathbed, and his uncle was breathing very close to breathing glass. And his uncle decided that he published and he made some certain statements afterwards he passed away, and he told him that this is was bound to happen, that there are things, or long story short, a summary of what he had said was that these events were going to happen without fail, and you should already regard them as they have come to pass. But now today, inshallah, we will be discussing a small portion and something which basically was another extraordinary event and something which is not very known amongst us. One of the most important things, right? A person can change throughout the ages. A person can grow up. A child will go taller. The brothers and sisters who are children here, if we look at what the height of our son, the height of our daughter a year ago, we'll be shocked that they're probably going to outgrow us soon, right? So the one thing that never ever changes for a child is the name that's given to him by his parents, him or her by his parents. A child will always be known by the name given to him by his parents. There will be names, right? There will be names out of love, right? Out of compassion. A father may call his son something else, right? Or a mother may call his or her daughter something else, his son something else. But the name will remain the same until the person passes away, and after the person passes away, he will always be known as this, he will always be known as XYZ person. So this was the name given to Rasulullah was something which was very unique amongst Arabs. They were not very accustomed to it. So Abdullah ibn Abbas, before we get into the name of Rasulullah and how he was made Muhammad, Abdullah ibn Abbas, another Abbas, the father of Abdullah ibn Abbas, narrates that the Messenger of Allah was born and he was circumcised, and furthermore, his navel was really cut. Of course, when a child is born, right after delivery, there is the umbilical cord which must be cut. So the umbilical cord which is connected to the navel was cleanly cut up to what And after this, he Abu Muttalib got sight of this, and when he saw how different and how, of course, Abu Muttalib was the father of at least 10 sons. He was the father of 10 boys. Right? So this was something which was like clockwork. This was a very big habit of it. Having a child delivered to helping his family deliver the child, and it was something which was very powerful. But the way that Rasulullah was born, when he saw the manner and how Rasulullah exited the womb of his mother, this was something very unique and very extraordinary and very intriguing. So when he saw it, he said, verily the son is bound to be a great man of lofty status. This boy is bound to be someone of great lofty status. Another narration by Prophet Abdullah, he said that Amina bint Wahab, when she went, he narrated from Amina bint Wahab that when Rasulullah was born, he was exceptionally clean and dirt-free. Clean and dirt-free. Of course, once again, when a child is born, there is the remnants of the womb upon him. There are certain impurities upon the child. Immediately after the child is born, once the parents see the child, he's immediately taken away to the kingdom, then brought back to the parents. But Rasulullah, once again, his birth was very unique. When he came out, the Prophet Abdullah narrated from Rasulullah's mother that when he exited his mother's womb, he was dirt-free and he was very clean. But now, once again, as I mentioned, the first thing, or immediately after the birth of the child, the first order of business is to bathe the child. And it's something which will remain until the end of days. It is something which will remain till the end of days. Even in the afterlife, this person will be known as XYZ person. So the Aqiqah of Rasulullah, right, in the celebration when a child is born, there are animal slaughters for a boy, two animals, for a girl, one animal. Now, subhanAllah, this is something, a very, not controversial, but something taboo among people who have many misconceptions about Islam. Women's rights, right? Why in Islam is there only one goat or one animal slaughtered on behalf of a girl? And why is there two goats slaughtered on behalf of a boy? Or why does a boy, when a person passes away, why does the girl become an heir to less wealth as opposed to the boy as well becoming? And if you look into the books of Faraj, which is inheritance, we'll see that the boys are known as something that we're going to go a little bit off topic. Boys are known as something known as asabat. Asabat are the category from amongst the people who inherit wealth from the deceased. Girls are known as Zawil Furuz. Zawil Furuz are those people who have a set amount by Sharia, they'll get a certain amount from their heirs, or they become the heirs to a certain amount when a family member or relative passes away. But the boys are known as Asabat. There's a difference. Asabat are such that if there is no one else to take any more wealth, there is no one entitled to any wealth, the boys will pick up. But if there's a girl, if there's a girl or a daughter or someone, a female relative, then what will end up happening is that she'll join the boys, and the boys will take all of it, and two portions will be for the boy and one portion will be for the girl. Right? So now, let's address the elephant in the room. Let's address the $1 million question. Why is there one portion for a girl and there's two portions for a girl? The easiest answer is, before Islam, women had no rights. Before Islam, before Rasulullah started preaching the message, the female relatives did not receive anything from their deceased family. As a matter of fact, in the time of Jahiliyyah, what would happen is that the female newborn would be buried. There's a story actually that comes to mind about a Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala, and this was quoted in the time of Jahiliyyah. So he came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and told Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was with the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala, other Sahaba. So he said that, Ya Rasulullah, in the time of Jahiliyyah, what would happen is that, I had boys and girls, and the girls were customary that the girls would be very alive. It's very common, unfortunately. But what had happened is that there was this one girl of mine, this one daughter of mine that my wife had actually taken away from me. I was accustomed to taking them immediately after being born and taking them and raising them. But there was this one child of mine which my wife had hidden away from me. So one day after returning from my duties, after returning from work, I see this daughter, I see this young girl. She had hidden away from me for a certain period of time, and now she has grown up a little bit. And every single day, my wife sort of persuaded me to leave her alone. Right? Every single day I would come home, she'd be waiting for me. But one day, I took her by the hand and started walking her towards the outskirts of the city. Started walking her to the outskirts of the city, and there was already a hole that was done. And I started shoveling the dirt in. And the entire time, as my daughter was looking at me, just asking, why are you doing this? Asking me and her father, why are you doing this? And subhanAllah, by the end of this Sahabi, and remember, of course, this is in the time of Jahiliyyah, the time of execution, they didn't know each other. But after the Sahabi finished telling his story, all of the people in the gathering, their entire beards were wet with how much they were crying after hearing this. This is how much they were crying after hearing this unfortunate story. So in Islam became the reason for the sisters to receive rights. Before this, there was no system in place. There was no one thought that a girl even mattered. But when Islam came along, when Rasulullah came along, it was a complete 180. The second answer, once again very simple, to go to the grocery store, and when we get there, when we have sometimes the credit card or pay with the cash, how many of us wait to arrive and say, it's your turn? Or I will arrive. How many of us wait? I'm sure no one does. Especially those who are very late time, right? Right? It's something which is completely unheard of. Especially in Islam, especially amongst the people who are known as Qawwam, the men are known as Abidan Qawwamun ala Nisa. They are responsible for the women. They are responsible for the women. So, whatever wealth a woman has, it is her own. All of the responsibility of the household, the sunnah, the kiswa, and all of that, meaning the place that they stay, the kiswa where the clothes that they wear, is all on the shoulders of them. So before all of this, the two people who received each and every single thing was the men. But when Islam came along, it was a complete 180, and the women started receiving their portions as well. So on the seventh day of Rasulullah, after the second day of Rasulullah, Abdul Muttalib reached from the Aqiqah, and he invited the entire Quraysh to his home. And he proposed to actually keep the name of the child Muhammad. And after the Quraysh, again, they were not accustomed to this. They were this was very unique to them, very intriguing to them. They said, "Oh, Abu Harith," and this was for the Harith we talked about a while back. Harith is the eldest son of Abdul Muttalib. Right? He was the first son of Abdul Muttalib. He was actually the one who helped Abdul Muttalib maintain the well of Zamzam and also the ponds that he had dug around the well of Zamzam. So he said, "Oh, Abu Harith," they said, "Oh, Abu Harith, why do you propose to keep a name that was certainly not kept by your forefathers and any one of your family members? Why are you trying to keep a name? You're defying the norm. This name is something which is unheard of. This name is something which no one is accustomed to. Why are you doing something which your forefathers have never done before?" So he said, "I propose to name him Muhammad, the first one, because I want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the sky and his creation on earth too." Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the sky and his creation on the earth too. Now, as I mentioned last week, there are people who don't even believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that they know from Rasulullah. Like it's a weak narration, right? But the principle of taking Sahih Hadith, the principle of taking Sahih narration, is that we don't ever take any type of obligation out of it. We don't take any type of mandatory requisite out of it. Right? But there is a narration in which when Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, and once again as I mentioned, this is a narration, but when Adam alayhi salatu wasalam was created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he looked over and he saw the throne of Allah. He looked over and he saw the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And upon the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was inscribed La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. On the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was inscribed the La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. So then Adam alayhi salatu wasalam knew that this person, Muhammad, is someone of a very lofty status. Why? Because why else would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put anyone else's name next to his own? Why else would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put anyone's name next to his own? And as you read in the ayat of Surah Ahzab, إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَمَلَائِكَتَهُ يُصَلُّونَ عَلَى النَّبِيِّ يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا صَلُّوا عَلَيْهِ وَسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا. That really Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the angels send blessings and salutations upon the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the order to the mu'mineen, that to the believers, the people who believe in Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. That you also send blessings and salutations upon him as well. Before the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Abdul Muttalib, he actually saw a dream. And this dream was one of the key reasons which inspired him to name Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam Muhammad. He dreamt that an iron chain was being extracted from his back, and on the end of the chain is toward the sky, and the other end is towards the earth. And one end is towards the east and one end is towards the west. A little while later, the chain actually transformed into a huge tree, and every leaf of the tree was glittered with brightness 70 times more than the intensity of the sun. People from the east as well as the west are clinging on to its branches. Some of the Quraysh are also clinging on to this tree, while few others of the Quraysh are determined to chop it down. Whenever this group decides to approach this tree with this intention, with this malice intention of trying to chop it down, there was a handsome young man stopping them and pushing them away and trying to elude them and push them away from chopping down this tree. Now, when finding out the interpretation of the dream of the Muttalib was informed that amongst his descendants a boy will be born, people from the east and the west will follow him devotedly. The beings of the sky as well as the earth will seek his face. This is now, while the Muttalib was
ये भी
actually
यूएसबी से कनेक्टेड है एक्चुअली कौन सा मतलब वही तो लगा हुआ है इसमें
हाँ तो उसको कुछ भी करना नहीं है इसमें यहाँ पे दिखा हुआ है
सेटिंग्स देखो
He was directed to be his name Muhammad or according to
Audio.
another narration, he was directed to or expected to be his name. So all of
हाँ ये
these
सेलेक्ट कर दे
and these
थर्ड वाला सेलेक्ट कर दे
indicated what the name of Rasulullah and he kept as
चेक करिए वो इशू तो है बराबर आ रहा है समझ रहे हो सेलेक्ट सही नहीं कर रहा
डिफॉल्ट था
one of the names of Rasulullah was Yaqeen.
सेलेक्ट कर लीजिए सेव कर सेव ऑप्शन
नहीं ऑटोमेटिक सेट आता
But then if you make it one,
सेलेक्ट कर लीजिए सेव कर माइक सेलेक्ट करना
this Ahmad is a reference to Rasulullah. And this is actually when Isa was coming to Isa said, O people of Israel, I am a messenger of Allah unto you. The purpose of Allah to appear before me, and the messenger of black tidings of a prophet to come after me, whose name shall be Ahmad. Now, the origin of the name Muhammad was actually from the letter Al. And the word actually refers to someone who is praiseworthy, or who is praiseworthy not only from his characteristics, but his practical ability as well. His indisputable achievement and outstanding character is easily glorified. Meaning each and every single thing related to him, not only is internal as well as external, is something which is praiseworthy. According to some scholars, according to people, Muhammad means that being in whom faultless character and commendable attributes are found in a perfectly flawless level. Abu Talib, who was the uncle of Rasulullah, would follow the descendant following stanza, who would say, وَشَقَّلَهُ مِنْ اسْمِهِ بِجِلَّهُ فَذُو الْعَرْشِ مَحْمُودٌ وَهَذَا Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has extracted him, his name from his own, so that he may be exalted. So that the one on the throne is Mahmud, and the one and this is Mahmud. Now the name Ahmad, we have one single that we will be talking about. That this name Ahmad means someone who is, and this is actually a superlative term, right? Superlative term, like the most, right? The most, which is known as Ismut Tableel, when you look into the book of grammar, is actually a superlative term that Rasulullah name Ahmad means that the person who is most praiseworthy. And indisputably, he is the most praiseworthy of the entire creation. No one is more praiseworthy than Allah others. And now we move on. Now, today's discussion will be mainly about. We'll end off with mainly about the names of Rasulullah. One title of Rasulullah was Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr is in reference to Rasulullah eldest son, who as we discussed last week, all of the boys of Rasulullah had passed away at a very young age. They did not see many days They were very young when they had passed away. This was the sacrifice of Rasulullah. And as a matter of fact, this is optimism. Right? And I'd like to mention this again because you must truly understand this. The Rasulullah within his own lifetime buried 600 children. He buried not one, not two, not three, but four, not four, but six of his own children. Out of the seven children, six of his own he buried in his own home. Right? Imagine how painful, and imagine how difficult that must have been. Right? So, Abu Bakr was the name of Rasulullah and his eldest son Fatima. But there are other narrations in which Rasulullah was known as Abu Ibrahim as well. And this is in reference to his youngest son who had passed away, that in his own hands, that he was raising his last, and this is the son of, he was the son of Rasulullah and Maymuna, and when Rasulullah, and sorry, Maria and Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam appeared before Rasulullah addressing him by saying, O Abu Ibrahim, O Abu Ibrahim, Ya Aba Ibrahim, Ya Aba Ibrahim. Right, so this is another title given to Rasulullah along with Abu Bakr, that is also known as Abu Ibrahim. Inshallah, in the next session, we will be discussing the time which Rasulullah was prospered. Rasulullah drank milk from three people. His own mother, Suwayla radiallahu anha, and Halima Sa'diya radiallahu anha. Like three people. And actually, Halima Sa'diya radiallahu anha was the one who kept him kept him the longest. And she saw the radiance that Rasulullah brought into her home, that when she came to drop him off, he tried to indicate to his mother that I like to keep us a longer time. So a little bit longer. Right? Because she saw the barakat, the blessings that was brought to her husband. Inshallah, next week we'll be discussing the suffering for the Prophet of Rasulullah. Allah also give you